ADOS121 Repair Anything. Find it at a store near you.
Well, g'day everyone and welcome to episode 12 of CRC Speedshow TV. And we've been bitching at the producer. We've been saying things like our studio's too small.
Yeah, bit cramped.
Bit cramped. We don't have anything decent considering who we are. What did he do? Created us a studio.
Look at the state of this thing and look at our props.
Yeah, movie cars.
Now this is a set. I mean, just here, it needs no introduction, really, does it? Great Scott, look at the state of the thing. Original City.
That was well done, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Okay, now we have been blurbing on a little bit in previous episodes about which movie car would be our favourite, and I am torn. I mean, I was tossing off yesterday when they were coming in here, and
did we just let that go?
Yeah, and I mean, General Lee turned up, Mad Max turned up, Eleanor turned up.
Eleanor?
Yeah, Knight Rider turned up, Smokey and the Bandit.
There's Knight Rider over there.
Knight Rider's here. Over here. Yeah, see, here's Knight Rider.
We haven't said g'day to Kit. Look at this, and this is original too. This is.
I expected the door to open and for it to slam me across the hallway then. Michael, do not touch the car, or however it goes. Yeah. So what one would you pick?
Just can we pan this way?
I'm going with you. Okay, righto. Okay.
Come and have a look down here. There's Herbie too, by the way, old mate. We'll come back to that. Look at this beast. You've seen the movies. God, how many are there now? 16? Original kit from the movie. As soon as I saw this, it was like, oh, hello, here we go, childhood. I'm a little bit younger than you, granted.
Yeah, true, but look, come with me instead.
Oh, okay.
I'm leaning towards this.
Oh, hello.
Towards Burt Reynolds, towards Sally with her legs out of the roof, her heels flying, taking off her wedding dress, hopping in the back. Now, when you realise how small this is, you can understand why Bandit was having so much fun with her ripping her gear off inside this car. It's this, the General Lee, or Eleanor, and I'm still torn.
Still torn. Who's this bad boy?
This is the one from Transformers.
Yeah, Transformers. It says it on the bonnet.
Yeah, it's good, eh?
And it says please don't touch, so we probably respect that. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, are you going to come up with a favourite? Are you going to do a ballot or something? Or
maybe by the end of the episode.
Okay.
I'll decide by the end of the episode.
All right, well, you better stick around.
Yeah, okay. Now, some people think that I don't actually do any work. Some say I'm actually quite lazy. Some say that they've never even seen me do anything.
We have been questioning what you've been actually up to for the last day or so.
Yeah, but I have been doing something. Have a look. All right, well, it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us, Perry.
It's great to be here.
Great in the Down Under, and I donned a cheese cutter just for you. It looked great, doesn't it? No, it does look, you do need something, quietly. No wonder you keep the helmet on all the time.
No, I've seen your head. We should go out later and pretend we're a set of headlights or something, yeah?
I know some good places. Dangerous places,
Yep.
but some good places. Now, first of all, if you ever had a drink in New Zealand, it's colloquial. It's good lemony stuff. It's called lemon and pyro.
Right.
L&P. You can sip away during our interview with that. You have a swill on that. I'd like to know what you think of that. Go on.
I can't wait.
Let's do that first.
Can't wait.
Yes, here we go. It's unique.
Delicious.
It is, isn't it?
I can thoroughly recommend it.
Yeah, there's an endorsement. Will you endorse me when I run for mayor?
Of course. I think they've been waiting for you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to start where you didn't start, because you did not start in karts.
No.
And that is incredibly unusual for someone who got to the level of motorsport that you did. Why did you not start in karts?
Couple of main reasons is that I never followed motor racing. So that was the main one. I was at college and I was studying law, economics, art, physics, and also sociology. And a friend of mine used to bring in these fantastic magazines. It's called F1. It's called Grand Prix magazine. And it had wonderful photographs of these Formula One cars. So I used to really enjoy drawing them. But at the same time, I used to really enjoy driving on the road. And I was a little bit too quick, to be quite frank. But the two things married together, and I really started taking an interest in these boys in Formula One. And word got around about my road driving, unfortunately, to the chief instructor at Brands Hatch. And all these things come together.
Right.
And he actually came out to get me. And I took him around the track, and that was kind of it. He said, I always remember these things. He said, you're the best I've ever seen. And at the same time, I got out of the car and said, well, this is what I want to do. So,
and you'd never done anything like it before?
No, I've never done it
it's
before.
It's incredible.
Well, it's just how it happened. But the thing is that after sitting down with these people, it was to turn around and say, well, you need to be starting in Formula Ford because, you know, you're too old at like 18, 19 to try and have a career in karting before you're doing that. But the other problem was I didn't have any money to go on track. So having decided that this is what I was going to do, I then went to work on North Sea oil rigs for 2 years.
Well, it's an interesting point because one of the things I've always said about motor racing is it's quite possibly one of the most difficult things to get into to prove yourself. Because if you are a natural talent at, say, golf, tennis, basketball, you can turn up at a court or a golf range or whatever and say, hey, give me a club and watch this. Yeah. Smash it, drive it, hoop it, whatever. Yeah. You can't go to a racetrack and say, hey, give me the keys, I'll show you what I can do. It just doesn't happen.
You've got a big point because every time these wheels turn around, it costs money. And big money. I mean, you know, they used to have this saying in America because funding for the space program had to come through Congress. And they used to say, no bucks, no Buck Rogers. And I kind of adopted the expression to turn it around and say, no Sterling Moss. So it was a question of understanding very, very quickly that this game was going to need money. Now, you can't go out and get sponsors if you've never driven. So I used the rig money, came straight in off the street and set 3 pole positions out of 6 races. But I didn't know what I was doing. So I was the one smashing into the wall. So it's costing me even more because I did not, you know, I was fast, but dumb. The following year, I got my act sorted out and won the British Championship in Formula Ford. So by then I was making phone calls, walking around industrial estates, knocking on doors, chatting up the secretaries to find a way to get to the directors of the company. It was relentless, absolutely relentless. The entire drive was to say, I need funding. I'm going to be a race driver and I'm not out here for a laugh. I enjoyed it, but I'm out here to get to Formula One because that paid really well.
Very well.
So I kind of fractured my college education and went to work on the rigs and got enough money to come together to come in and start in Formula Ford. So I had no option. Well, I did have an option, but the option was do badly and you're finished because the rig money was only going to last for so long. Or hopefully there was something inside me that was maybe quite good and show it fast. Otherwise, you're finished.
What were you, though? Were you an arrogant 18-year-old, look at me drive, I'm exceptional because I jumped into a car and I grabbed poles? Or were you a modest or a humble? What did you think, if you look back now and say, what was that Perry like?
I think that I rather hope I've always had kind of the middle ground, which is maybe a sociable brashness, if you like. Because I had a belief that I could do this. I could definitely laugh at myself with things going wrong. But I was passionate about it rather than bragging, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I would turn around and say, listen, I actually believe I might be one of the fastest things out there. I'd love you to come on board. I really need some help. I can make sure it's fun for you guys if you do. This would get some press, get some publicity, get people along. I mean, people at Motoring News, a big publication, told me something that was heartwarming just a few years back. They said, until you turned up, nobody had ever come into our offices to talk to all the journalists and say who you are and what you're going to be doing and, you know, kind of but to me, it was all, I didn't think I was being anything special. I just saw it as the logical next step. I just saw it as there's more doors to knock. not 5 o'clock yet. There's another couple of doors I can knock on. Phone these people up, try to get those. I didn't have the family, and I didn't have any management or anything like that. I just saw it as, I need friends. I need people to help.
Did you grow up like that though? As a youngster coming through your school and life, did you think, or do you feel that you were always like that, you were always someone that wanted to do something, I'm going to go do it? Or did it come about suddenly at 18 when you got into these cars and thought, well, I've got to do that?
I was kind of, I was always a friendly kid, but I was actually a bit of a loner all the way through school, you know. When I got to college, that kind of the speed of college and the engagement and the humour, then I had a lot of really great friends. But I always had this feeling that as soon as I found something I wanted to do, I had this feeling that as soon as I found it, it would be the on switch, nailed, fused, jammed, full stop, kill.
Going through the junior grades of Formula, learning the ropes big time, having to learn, because you hadn't come from karting, so you were learning everything in a very short space of time. You obviously adapted, you obviously picked up on what you needed to know because you managed to get your way to the pinnacle. And that is a massive leap, horrendous leap. And I suspect if you say to people, I went straight from this Formula, and ended up in Formula 1, people go, how did you, excuse me, not today. How did you do it? How did you jump from Formulas to Formula 1? Given your history in motorsport was so minute.
It was up and down. I wish it had been a terribly easy route. I really do. But after winning the Dunlop Star Tomorrow Championship, the first race of the following season, I had an enormous crash. It didn't really matter that much because we only had enough money for the first couple of races anyway, you know. But I broke my back. Luckily enough, not too bad, but it did take me quite a few months to get back and get ready to come back. The following year in '85, we had a tiny budget to go Formula Ford again. Now, this is where I really fell over, to be quite frank, because I didn't want to be doing it. I'd done Formula Ford. I wanted Formula 3. It had no interest in me anymore, you know? So I probably, in my personal opinion, it's not just the excuse of not having a lot of money or not doing any testing. I don't think I was that good, because mentally, it didn't have it for me. So what I did was, the gamble was I needed to go Formula 3 at all costs. So what I decided to do was to coat the car out with different sponsors and everything else. And a lot of those sponsors were responsible for giving me, hear this one out, I wanted to have a fantastic brochure, a top level, great photography, well-designed brochure that was aimed at getting me the money to go into Formula 3. So I had so many names on the car. The people gave me the paper for the brochures, the design agency that designed it, the printers that made it all up. And we made this big brochure up. And I sent this beautiful brochure out to company after company after company after company. And with depressing regularity, it'd come back, it was bad. And then one day I managed to get a meeting with Barclays Bank International Division. I was meeting their directors and I sat in front of them, I was presenting. And I don't have too many chances. And I sat before, they'd agreed to see me, Barclays Bank International. And a few days later, they sent me a letter. It said, "Dear Perry, really sorry, we're not going to do it." And I thought, oh God, so you're carrying on and making more phone calls and going out to see people. Anyway, a few weeks later, I get another letter from Barclays Bank International. I can see it on the franking. And I've looked at it and I thought, this is it. And I've opened it up and said, "Dear Perry, you may remember last time you come in to present to us, we were then of the opinion that we can't sponsor you. However, since then, we've re-sat down and we've thought it through again. And I'm sorry to tell you, we still can't sponsor you." Now I looked at this letter. I'd started by going, I was salivating. I was seeing £500,000. We're going Formula 3, we're going to make you a Formula 1 star inside 2 years. I was all that. I kept rereading it. I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking, are they bored? Have they got a camera on me
so
going,
a double
"This is for a
rejection.
laugh?" You know? And they just go, oh.
However,
Yeah.
we know you ended up in Formula 1, and people know this.
Yeah.
You ended up in Formula 1, and it's been said you are one of the unluckiest ones. because things didn't go well.
Oh, I thought I had pole position on there. I thought it was the unlucky. Yeah. Okay, one of them.
Things didn't go right, did it, really?
No.
And that,
No, we set a new standard in bad.
yeah. Does it hurt still today? It still does. You haven't got over it?
You know, I kind of... there's so many things that have been really fantastic in my life that I have to really consider all the time. And I do have to fight this ghost of F1 a little bit.
Yes.
So I have to say to myself, shut up. It didn't work. I think it's still difficult a little bit coming from, let's say, you know, being a bit of a star in the States, you know, keep being at the front, and they knew I'd arrived, to then looking like the mutt of the pit lane in Formula One. The upsetting thing was I did feel that I really had so much to offer, and I was also somebody that the faster the cars got and the more powerful the cars got, I think the better I was. It really suited me, more power. And I think that was reflected in what I was always able to do in the rain. I've got no idea, before I sound too flash about this, I've never really had any idea of what I'm doing, to be quite honest. Even when I was setting poles in the States or whatever, or you know, doing more than 3,000, people say, what are you doing? And I say, I've actually got no idea.
It's just happening.
I just drive. I just
happening.
feel it, and that's it. So, to get into F1, I mean, out of our 10 races, we actually didn't even go on track.
Yeah.
5 of them. So, and then the other times, is the longest run I ever did was in qualifying for Imola, and we did 7 laps. And you're just standing there, and you're just going, yeah, I wasn't getting paid to be in F1. Who cares? I don't care. I've got there.
Yeah.
Dig from the inside. Maybe if it rained, I could find just one gap to show something. But we didn't have anything. I wasn't even in a car. And then when I was in the car, you're just going, I'm trying with my balls wrapped around my neck for one lap in something that's actually dangerous. It was dumb. I mean, really dumb. So I guess where my good fortune comes is I'm sitting here with you today. That's one. But also to consider, you know, this is going to sound slightly more rounded, is the, you know, desperately proud of my family, my wife and my kids and stuff, and also my friends, and many of them are other race drivers who have done really well, and I just love that for them. I think I've got one quality in life, thank God, maybe 2. I've got a sense of humour, and the other one is I've never been jealous of anybody in my entire life.
So we know the end game, it didn't work out in Formula One.
Yeah.
You had a good run in sports cars though, you had a lot of fun, Le Mans, some of the great tracks, and you dabbled into that, but we also, of course, we know you from Top Gear.
Yeah.
And we know you ended up there, we know you're in the first couple of seasons, but then you were killed off. And this is where I want to go now. This is where I want to lean towards. You released yourself.
No, I didn't.
In a book. That's what's been told.
No.
So I'd like
to talk about the other Stig.
And that's what I want to clear up.
Yeah.
And I want to delve into.
Shake hands.
I want to delve into how it ended, because we know that you started. But people go, oh, how did that? What happened? What went wrong? And all these whispers and rumours. I want to know how it ended, and did it end good or bad?
Let's go back to where it started very quickly.
Sure.
Because I'd had such a ride, up and down ride, and because, you know, all my stories of hanging on for dear life and trying to get spun. Julian Bailey, another race driver, used to say I've got 2 remarkable abilities: an ability for getting myself into trouble, and an ability for getting myself back out of trouble. So it did provide quite a bit of amusement to everybody on how much aggravation I was getting into and stuff like that. So in the end, they said, you've got to write a book, and I did. And I called it Flat Out, Flat Broke.
Yes.
And it was actually at my book launch that Jeremy Clarkson was there, and lots of other friends from F1 and stuff. And it was there that Jeremy said, look, Top Gear's been off air for quite a long time. This was in 2002. We're going to be bringing it back, and we've got this idea for you. And we want you to be this secret, mysterious racing driver dressed in black.
Yes.
You know, firstly, all in black. Black boots, black overalls, black gloves, black crash on, black visor. And we're going to call you the Gimp.
Great name.
I said, no, you're not.
What a fantastic idea that is.
So basically, we got it sorted out to call it the Stig. So off we went, and yeah, okay, bit of fun, staying quiet, that's it. But I think they fired somebody in the production office after the first season, and that person who did know it was me went to the newspapers to cash in. So of course we played it all down, it wasn't me, but the papers knew it was, and everybody in motor racing bloody knew it was me as well, but everybody really kept still. So we played it out again, then something happened with this kind of classic Jaguar thing. And I was really annoyed about this, because the guy who owned it turned around and said, oh, Stiggy's trashed my car and that's it. And then the journalist, who should have known better, who didn't even phone me about this, a motoring journalist, then put my name in the Telegraph saying, Perry McCarthy ruined this car, and I was livid, because I could ruin his car within a lap if he wants it, but it's an old car, there was no point, and so I didn't do it, so he was trying to cash in. So I was not happy about that. So I said to BBC, you need to back me up on this. But of course, because they didn't want to confirm anymore that it was me,
Right.
so that didn't go very well in my book. By then, we'd understood that Top Gear was becoming real big, Stiggy was real big, and my payment for it wasn't that great. Now, that's fine, because I'd shaken hands on those seasons of that payment. But I then turned around and said, boys, this is going really big. Now, what we need to do is compensate me, because a lot of this is about being anonymous. Now, if there's a TV presenter and they're not being paid a huge amount of money, they use that and go and do endorsements, personal appearances. But of course, Stiggy,
Couldn't do
you've
it.
shaken hands, can't mention it, can't use it. So you're stuck there. Now everybody says best job in the world. They have to remember, I come from international motor racing. That's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Driving the real big stuff at massively high speed.
Yes.
So the Top Gear stuff was really going past my attention span. And at the same time, I was riding for Audi, who
Yeah.
were very, very generous to me. So that was fantastic. And I just said, look, we need to do something about this. And they said, well, we don't want to. And I said, okay, see you later. And they said, okay, fine. So that was it.
I want to fire some quick fire
Please.
at you to finish this interview.
Okay.
Okay. I want to start with the obvious questions that you have probably had asked of you 50 times a year. So you'll probably have these answers just right there, ready to go.
bat.
The greatest Formula One driver of all time. Oh, I would have thought you'd have this one.
Yeah, I know, but I still, it's of all time. Couldn't say, because, you take the
Apples, oranges?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you take the stars of the era. I mean, the first one that everybody's going to begin with from the 50s, of course, will be Fangio. You could maybe argue Sterling Moss, but
Right.
Sterling never won the championship. You move into the 60s, the big name that will sing out is Jimmy Clark, obviously. Graham Hill, wonderful driver. Yeah, then you come into Jackie Stewart, amazing driver, even though he does go on a bit. Then you'll
It's the hats.
You'll come further in. You look at somebody like Nicky Lauda. Nelson PK was, I'm not keen on him, but he's a brilliant driver. And then, of course, you then start coming through to more modern day, and the two names that I would normally battle between, out of considering all those people, is Michael Schumacher, or of course Ayrton Senna.
Which team do you support more? Ferrari, Mercedes, McLaren?
I guess I've still got a soft spot for McLaren. That's
Okay.
going away a bit. That was the old McLaren, really, with Ron Dennis there and a lot of other people I knew. So that would be the one, I guess.
Good choice being in New Zealand saying that.
Actually, good point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a base covered.
Yeah.
Right
Thank
there.
God.
Out of the following Bond cars, which would you consider to be the best? The Aston Martin DB5, the Lotus Esprit, the Bentley, the Range Rover, or the AMC Hornet?
What's an AMC Hornet?
That's that one from America when he flipped it.
When he did the spiral.
Yeah, the AMC
Yeah.
Hornet, that ugly American muscle car
Yeah.
of the 70s.
Wow, I was really thinking about
Yeah.
the 80s. No, I don't.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be.
I just thought I'd throw it in there in case you were right out there, if what I'm saying.
Do you know?
I just got a feeling you're going to say the Aston Martin.
Yeah, but do you love classic cars?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Right, and so do I. I love the elegance, the design, the smell. You get in, the history, the nostalgia. everything, right up until you drive them. They're a piece of junk.
Yeah. Right,
I've driven DB5s.
right. Horrible.
Yes.
Don't let it happen again.
I mean, you know, would I love a DB5? Of course, but only to stand against, you know, drinking a martini.
All right.
But that's what I'd be doing, because driving them, they're non-responsive, they're sloppy, the gear change is like a tractor.
Okay. Who was the best Bond, by the way?
I think it'd be Sean Connery.
Oh, you know Sean Connery. Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek? This is very
Star Trek, easy. Any day of the week. Star Trek.
Oh, I'm going to get emotional.
Star Trek. Any day of the week.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Were you a dork
You know,
in
let
school?
me tell you a story.
Okay. Okay.
I'll come in with
Yes.
a real quick one. So I was a big Trekkie, but, you know, first lot, James T. Kirk.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
William Shatner.
Yes.
But we never had William Shatner on the show. Top Gear. However, we had the next best thing. We had Jean-Luc Picard.
Great
Star
guy.
Trek, Next Generation.
Great guy.
Otherwise known as Patrick Stewart. So I'm in all the black kit. I'm sitting there next to him. I've got Patrick Stewart there. Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the Starship Enterprise, and I'm sitting there inside the crashing environment. Have you ever had the devil and the angel? Because I've got the devil going, go on, Sad. And the angel's going, no, don't be stupid. And I'm going, go on, Sad. I'm sitting there like that. And we're just about to pull away. And there's Suzuki Liana. And I've just looked at him and I've gone, engage.
I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. This is fantastic.
So yeah, that was my. Yeah. So that's.
I'm glad you are a fanboy as well.
New Star Trek films, they're fantastic. I love them.
It's been an absolute pleasure getting this insight.
Thank you.
A little bit of information. You enjoy your LMP.
It's very nice indeed.
It is very nice.
If I say it often enough, I'm hoping they're going to send a cheque.
They might do. And remember, I will be Mayor of Auckland.
I'll vote for you immediately.
Perry McCarthy, thank you.
Great to see you.
What a chat, and what an easy guy to talk to. Full interview, by the way, with this guy. It's quite long because he knows how to talk. The URL, the link that you click to go and watch the whole thing, on the Facebook page. Now, we were in the movie cars, which are, funnily enough, classic car insurance, where the cameraman just panned up from. Do you know what else they've got here? They've got something quite special, and it's just behind us, and it's red. Oh my Lord, 0 to 100 in just over 2 seconds. This thing can go.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
What is it?
It's a Dodge.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it's probably got a lot of letters after its name and special things like a demon or a vampire or a Satan or something evil and demonous. And
You should probably get in it.
no, it's probably alarmed, and I don't have my screwdriver on me, but it does have special tyres. Come have a look at these special tyres, if you please.
Oh, yeah.
Special tyres, specially made just for this car. It is a stunner. But, I tell you, while this thing can go to 100k in, what did you say, just over 2 seconds?
2 seconds, apparently.
Check this out. Have a look at this one. Doc is here. Okay? Doc is here. Now, would you rather drive around town? I'll ask you this seriously. Would you rather drive around town in this or in the Dodge?
I think this. Because
Really?
in terms of turning heads,
Yes?
and this would cost a fortune on Auckland's motorways.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
This
I don't
will be
know.
the one. This will be the one. Okay. This will not be in the live arena at Speedshow. It isn't here. It just doesn't do it. But plenty of cars and things are in the live arena, and I'm sad you can't be here to witness it. But this is why we're bringing you the special episode of CRC Speedshow. You want to see what's been in the? Do you want to see what's been in the
I
arena?
want to see what's been in the arena.
Let's go see what's been in the arena.
Some say he is the only man that can make Chuck Norris move over.
Some say that NASA actually asked him to pilot the next mission to Mars, the rocket mission to Mars, but then again, I think they asked you too, didn't they?
They want to get me out of the country.
That's not all they want to do.
Some say he is the only man who can touch MC Hammer. But we know him, ladies and gentlemen, as the Stigs Dave!
Okay, he was quite low, isn't it?
You didn't want him not to hit us, didn't you? And he's just...
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
precision.
I'll give him that. Shall we see him, ladies and gentlemen? You want Perry McCarthy out of
for goodness sake, what are you doing? Oh, I see. This is his autograph booth that we were talking about in the last episode, and he's been going on about for the last week or so. Brilliant. Have you got anything to wipe that off with? Because, anyway, one of the great things about coming to Speed Show is that the kids and the mums and dads and the sooties of this world can come along and write on this chalk vehicle right here. Well, it's not a chalk vehicle. It's kind of like a great big movable blackboard, really, and someone here is taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
This is pretty much the only place you're going to be able to sign your name, eh?
Yeah.
At the show, at the autograph booth. Hey, mate, just quickly, do you have a rant or anything that you want to
rant.
say?
Yeah, I have a rant. I forgot about the rant.
Yeah.
Okay, do you mind?
Yeah.
Let me rant. I want to tell you a rant. I want to tell you about food. I went to get some food, to come here to eat, because obviously I need food. And I thought I'll go to the bakery at 6 o'clock in the morning. I went to the bakery and I grabbed a peppermint slice and an apple slice, and I grabbed a sandwich, and it was $9 for that stuff. It was $9. And I tell you what,
Okay, we need to stop. It's food. Your rant's supposed to be about motorsport at least. Just get back to decorate your wee autograph there. I think now is a good opportunity to go and check out the Ting Tools hot rods.
And so here it is, the Ting Tools Grand National Rod and Custom Show, the best of the best, the elite, the finest, the shiniest, the prettiest, the most perfect hot rods in the country on display and being judged, and the judges are tough. I mean, if you even have a little piece of dust on a screw head somewhere, you're going to get points off. It's that special. We are so lucky to be in this room.
Totally, you keep your chalky hands off those cars, thank you very much. Obviously you missed it, that's okay. Here's a little wee sneak peek of what you missed.
It's so cool, isn't it? I mean, there's so much here at Speed Show, and it's a shame you aren't here to see it with us, and because everyone that's special, everyone that's what, oh my God.
Oh, what?
Oh my God, Stig!
Mate.
Stig!
Mate. It's a mannequin, not plastic. It's not real.
Such a fanboy. I knew that.
But he's right, there are so many things to experience here at Speed Show, and if you missed out this year, you need to come back next year because you know it's going to be bigger and better than ever before. And, you know, I mean, Harris race radios are here, for example. Just pan around, cameraman. Look at these guys, just non-stop. And look at that wonderful product, so shiny. Oh, and thank you guys for putting a mannequin up there. It's very lifelike, quite clearly. It's not Stig.
It's not Stig.
You had your time with him, calm down.
Here's a green Mini.
Look at the state of it, yeah.
Green Mini, way cool. Me, green Mini.
It's very you.
It is very me.
It's quite your colour too, actually. It brings out your eyes.
Thank you for that. There is so much at Speed Show, and again, I'm sorry you can't be here to see it all, but one of the things that you would have seen if you were here is Auckland Hydrographics. It is just so cool, and I very quickly want to show you why, because they basically get anything and they turn it into something.
Lord. Look at that.
And they dip it. It's not like a vinyl wrap, it's actual painting. It's so high tech, it is so cool. And it's one of those things when people turn up to the site, they go, whoa, how does that work? And it's really cool that he's been able to, well, bring it all and show everyone here what to do. And people are getting all sorts of parts on their cars done now. Motorbikes, cars, go-karts, they're all getting them hydro-dipped. It's really cool.
Sky's the limit. And of course, just opposite that, of course, is these guys. Maguire's. They have been at every show for goodness knows how long now. Their product knowledge, their range of product, absolutely incredible, to be honest with you. Always a must visit at the show. Now, mate, it must be said, you've been quite a disgrace this weekend, so it's fair to say you should probably take that and go and sort yourself out. Clean yourself up. Yep. Jim.
Yeah, I don't know. The rain will be all right.
No, it'll be okay. It'll be good for the stock car there, the bloody,
Well,
you know.
and the Nissan, because finally he can get sideways.
Yeah.
Because he's been
Ford
getting...
car.
Oh, morning, Todd.
G'day, mate.
Mate. Oh, yeah.
Hey, isn't that Stigs Hyundai over there?
Wonder if the keys are in it.
Should we go and have a look?
Hell yeah.
No one's going to notice.
No.
Surely they are.
Come on, you go. You go, have a look. Is it unlocked?
It's unlocked.
Keys are on the dash. Are you going to?
Why not?
Dude, yes! Stop it. Push it, just push it. Oh, put your foot on the brake.
The foot is on the brake.
No, on the brake, that's the clutch. Did you even check that it was out of gear? Put the clutch in. Yes! Yes. Drive it. Hamilton, here we come. Do you even know how to drive manual?
Not really all that good at the Audis are bloody...
Go, do some skiddies, this is skiddies. They go around, go left. Oh, I can be your navigator. Easy left to caution, hairpin right to 300 crest, caution, handbrake, caution left, right, 200, 1, 3 crest, steady.
Do you want to go?
Yeah. Give me.
Sit down.
Hang on, seatbelt. Oh, shit, man. No, I can't reach the brake pedals, mate. Hang on. Manual.
You good with this?
1. Oh! It's Fast and Furious, so it's got 25 gears.
Is this what you've got? You're driving like a nana.
Dude, the GoPro's on. The red light. Oh, the red light's on. Shit. Come on. Cops.